Hi, my name is Ana Zahra and welcome to the GrowCast Show episode 103. So we have our Senior Associate Director, Khai Rambo from PropNex. Hi Khai, how are you?
Hi, Alhamdulillah.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? A lot of elderly parents are living in big flats that they no longer need. So why do you think that many hesitate to downsize even if it makes financial sense?
As you see, houses is just not about the roof, the walls. It's more to memories, decades of memories living from the child to grow up. It's too many to take a sentimental value to them. So if you ask me, about this question, I have to understand from their part whether should they feel that losing all those memories, moving to another place because of they feel house is just not about the walls, the roof. It's more about decades of memories they have in that house. And they feel like if they let go this house, they let go of the memories inside this house. Especially the birthday, the celebration with families, the kenduri that they have in that house. So I explain to them, say, you letting go this house is not letting go these memories. You are moving forward your life to a more stable and able to live your life with affordability that is more important to you rather than you have to stick to this house where you had to spend more on maintenance that you don't need anymore. That's where I helping them improving their life forwards.
So what are the biggest financial benefits for elderly parents who decide to downsize from a big house to a smaller house?
I see that as two big wins. Firstly, lower maintenance. Secondly, they get to cash out from their bigger house if they downgrade to a smaller, and they're easier for them to maintain, like cleanliness, especially at their age where they don't have the much energy to clean up the house. And of course, big empty spaces where rooms that their children have stayed and it's not useful for them anymore. And they need that to see a smaller room better for them, a smaller house, where they're easier for them to maintain. And especially when government see them, they staying at a smaller house, more benefit for them because government intend to give more like grants or even for lower maintenance fee like town council fee, which also help them. That is where more benefit comparing if they continue to stay at their current house.
For adult children, how do they start the conversation with their parents about downsizing without it becoming like a sensitive topic to them?
I explain to most of my clients, especially those clients who engage me. I told them, start with care. Don't start straight away telling them, ma, dad, I need to ask you to sell this house to downgrade. No, we don't do that because you are putting emotional to them. So rather than we talk about sense like their health benefit when they are nearer to the mosque, for example, because elderly, they want us to spend time for their faith. Especially like most of my Muslim community, they want near to the mosque where they can go for solat every single time. Mostly like my dad, they will walk to the mosque. Easier if you got house next to the mosque. So they spend more time in the mosque where they feel, let's say if we share this benefit, this may take them into consideration and say, true. If I have to walk to the mosque from my current place, which I have to take bus, all this taking a lot of time. If I stay next to the mosque, every single waktu, I can just go to the mosque, which is really, really benefit them. In fact, I have few clients who have this, who enjoy this benefit until they thank me a lot for this, helping them getting a house near the mosque.
So what are the top 3 common mistakes families make when trying to handle a downsizing process on their own?
Most common they forget is the planning. They focus on selling the house. They forgot the planning. Like for example, the time, the legal document that they have to prepare, timeline. Where if they didn't plan this properly, they might happen that in between of the transaction, they don't have a place to stay. That is very, very wrong planning of way of doing it. Because for my side, I have planned timeline properly. I have a few clients, different timeline, how to help them while waiting for this house to be transacted. They have already a place of stay, or they can stay at their current house while renovating the other house. So all this need time, plan, and experience to do it. In a way, they don't have stress, and I can guarantee them maximum peace of mind that can help them.
How can downsizing actually improve family relationships between parents and children and their grandchildren?
I see that as moving closer to their kids, especially if you move closer, they have a proximity grant that they can get from the government. Secondly, it's not about the convenience. They have more time with their grandchildren, especially when if nearer, they can anytime drop to their place. And of course, as a parents, especially I have a kids, and my parents would like to see their grandchildren come over, enjoying them. Even my children will ask me, when I want to go to my nenek house, my granny house. So all this, looking forward for them to be happy. This is not about selling house. It's more about moving their life happiness forward and getting better in a way of if looking at empty house and they don't get that happiness most of the time.
What is your strategy for getting the best value for an elderly client's current home?
I focus more on the presentation, present the house, the timing, because how do I market the house is most likely by virtual tour. Means before I bring the right buyer to the place, I have showed them all the virtual tour. They like the location, they like the renovation, and in fact, sometimes these old houses, they have certain things that you need to redo, like painting or certain things that you need to do small renovation to increase the value of the house by 1,000, which can help most of my clients cover that cost and happily downgrade, and they get the price that they need. That's way of marketing is very important, because the right time and the right moment to get the right buyer is not easy. With experience, you can do that.
So are there like grants or schemes in Singapore that elderly parents can tap on when they downsize?
Yes, in fact, if I'm not wrong, in 2021, where government announced that silver housing bonus for those who eligible. I mean, this one I have to, there's a pro and cons that you have to understand when government giving this silver housing bonus. So if those clients who actually qualified for this, I can tell them, when government give you some benefits, better grab it, because it's not easy for you to get money from the government. So in a way, I explain to them what is the benefit of taking it and what is not the benefit of getting it. So in a way, they have to balance it. We say, should I go for it or should I just do another way, which also benefit them. So this is different clients have to work on differently on how benefit is getting silver housing grant. For elderly.
Some children, right, they worry that their parents will feel lonely after moving to a smaller place. So what is your take or your opinion on that?
Lonely, I see this as opposite. I don't see that it's lonely when moving to a smaller place, because you will feel more lonely when you see a bigger place but nobody inside. You know what I mean? Because if let's say you move in from a 5-room, 5-room, how big? This one room is empty, then nobody's staying there because your children already have their own place. So if you look at a smaller room where you have 2 rooms, one for you, master bedroom, and the other one is for your grandchildren to come over and stay over, I feel that it's like a good opportunity for them to feel, this house is not so big. It's where I don't need to spend so much maintenance on. And of course, I feel the opposite when you don't get lonely on getting a smaller house.
What is actually the emotional payoff that you see in families after a successful downsize?
To me, I feel happy for them because I see the smile, the relief. And in fact, one of my clients told me this, I should have done it sooner because they saw the benefit for them. And in fact, one of my clients who is the children told me, thanks so much, Khai, for doing all this for my parents. I see them more happier right now. And they don't have to be stressed with so many things that they have to pay. maintenance, town council fee, actually town council fee, government sometimes save them on the town council fee. So all this add up, they save a lot. So they are more happier. And I, as an agent, I feel why I'm doing this job to see that happening every single time. That make me happy. Make me moving forward to see it every day. I want to do more for people. That's the thing. The feeling is undescribable.
Yeah, should I go for a BUC condo or a 5-year-old resale condo for investment?
Okay, to understand more, BUC is building under construction, which is a new launch condo. Or you were saying the 5 years resale condo. Yeah, it depends actually. How are they prioritized in? Okay, for example, BUC have higher capital appreciation comparing to a resale condo. But BUC, you cannot earn any income from that house because it's not completed. But for a resale condo, you can straight away get rental income from there. In terms of the capital appreciation, of course, BUC have higher because it's a new property. It's a new property where the minimum of 99 years is maximum. Where the BUC, but the resale one is at lower 99 years, which means it's already 10 years or 20 years. So you see the value of property is so much different because of the lease balance from that property. If you can afford for a BUC, I can tell you go for BUC. But if you say that I want a rental income, straight away and go for a rental property for a completed property, which 5 years resale property condo.
How do I know if I can afford a private property in Singapore?
Firstly, you have to check on the TDSR. Okay, TDSR is total debt servicing ratio. And also, this one is for private property. For HDB or EC is MSR, mortgage servicing ratio. So this calculation is based on 30% of your income, which means when you're buying property, your income cannot be used for buying totally for property. You have to only use 30% of that income to buy a property, to take a loan to pay for that property. So in a way, it's a risk, manage your risk when buying a property. So if you don't know how to calculate that, on my website, I have this calculator. It's a free calculator. You can use it to use on this, how to calculate to buy a property. In fact, don't forget to include the legal fee, the stamp duty, all that include with the TDSR calculation. That is the amount that you can buy a property. All this, of course, to be easier, I can do it for free consultation doing for you.
Can I buy a property without a real estate agent?
Yes, you can. But can you handle the pricing, the marketing, the negotiating, the paperwork and the legal? All this, you have to handle it on your own if you have the experience, of course. But as agent, I help them with negotiating, with all the paperwork, with the legal knowledge that I have, I actually can get a better value. In fact, I can negotiate a better price for them, which worth on them paying me the 2% commission fee, which and they get so much more and save of time, peace of mind, everything. Which I feel if you want to go ahead doing no need to get an agent, yes, go ahead. But the thing is, you can get more for a small fee. Why not?
How do I spot a good investment property?
Looking at this area of good investment, can I say that if you buy any property, does all property make money? The reason is difficult, right? To check whether if I invest on the property, it doesn't make money at all. In fact, it just stagnant like that. Because if it's stagnant like that, affect your interest rate. Because you're paying interest every single month. So to spot a good property, you first have to check the transformation of the area. Whether does the government put in money at that area to boost the area. Like for example, they build workforce. For example, if like say I give an example, Simei and Tampines. Why Simei has a better value in terms of the property compared to Tampines? Because Simei is nearer to Changi Business Park, where government boost the area build up the area to have a workforce there, and where people want to work and rental, they will choose Simei because nearer to Changi Business Park. Good rental income over there. So when there's good rental income, it boosts the property price. Transformation, for example, Tengah, the next transformation in that in Singapore, they make it a Khai area, Khai. So and they build a lot of condos, especially upcoming Jurong transformation. All is near to Tengah. When there's transformation, there's surely a capital appreciation that you can guarantee for your property.
What is Khalai District?
Khalai District is like government have planned it to reduce the number of traffic at this area. So they putting is almost of the traffic underground. So in terms of for example like buildings that built at Tengah, for example, it's a Khalai area, right? They have lesser car park. For example, EC, they only cater 40% of the car park for the residents. So in a way, those who buy a property there, they must make sure, put inside mind that because nearer to the transport convenience, like MRT, they don't need to have a car. So they control the number of car going to the area. The car like means lesser car in this area. They are looking into this. More mature estate are looking into this, but mature cannot be controlled. So they only for new estate that they can control it for a lesser car traffic area.
Can foreigners co-own a condo with me? And how does ABSD differ?
When you buy a condo with a foreigner, I'm not saying about spouse. Let's say anyone. Let's say for you are buying with another man who is from another country, which is a foreigner, you have to pay a 60% ABSD. But if you buy with a spouse who is a foreigner, so you don't need to pay ABSD because you are buying your first matrimonial home, which means you don't have any property, and your husband who is a foreigner do not have any property. Then you don't need to pay the ABSD with 60%. 60% is not cheap, no. For example, it's 1 million property, you are paying 600,000 to the government, and it's cash. It cannot be used as CPF. So imagine you saving this 60,000 if you're buying a 1 million property, 600,000 how much if you're married a foreigner and you save this amount for a private property if you have foreign husband for example. So first matrimonial home, no ABSD. If he is not your husband, then you have to pay the 60% ABSD.
Why do you think first-time buyers and upgraders often feel so stressed about property?
Okay, you can imagine the fear of making the wrong move when buying a property. And you can say if they make the wrong move, they have to suffer for 20 years or 10 years or 20 years. It's the cost value buying a house that in the end depreciate the value of that property. So first timer have to be very, very careful in buying this. Especially for upgraders. For example, HDB upgraders, they want to buy an EC or private property. They must plan which area are they looking at, and whether they suit their lifestyles, their finance, all this before they jump into taking the risk of buying a private property. So first timer, they do not have any house, but they are jumping into buying a property or private property which don't make money. But for upgraders, they are jumping from HDB to a private property. So after getting a capital appreciation from their HDB, don't lose this amount to jump to the wrong property. Make it like a asset progression where they can get the second goal, box of gold from their HDB. They move up to the private property and get it at the profit from there. Getting the right move is important.
For private property upgraders, what is their number one biggest mistake they make?
Planning well from selling and buying. They got excited on their dream home, but they didn't plan the letting go the current one, means the one that they're saying. And especially if they already jump into buying the second house and this one haven't let go, they are stuck with two mortgage loan, especially bridging loan. Because bridging from this house to this house, and this one haven't sell yet, you are overstressing yourself on getting your dream home. And why didn't you plan well? why nobody do a timeline for you to make it a smooth transaction? Yeah, this is very, very crucial mistake that I see a lot of, buyers who didn't plan properly. Timeline must be suitable to you. Different people have different timeline. Because for example, if they can rent, then they can just sell and move and rent first and get another property. But if they cannot rent, the effort of paying for a rental, then how? They have to have a place to stay, especially with children. It's not easy.
How do you make sure that your client doesn't end up making mistakes while upgrading?
I actually plan backwards. For example, I look at them, what is their life goals, what is their property wish list. Then from there, I plan for their finance, how much they can buy, their timeline, how they can move from this house to this house. And if let's say some things doesn't work, I have a plan B for them. All these are risk management. So if they are taking this risk, is it good for them if they have to move to this property and without affecting their life movement to the next stage? Means life change. Means you're moving from this property to this property. It's like a life changes for them. With schools, they have to change school for their kids. Everything is not easy. So all these are need plans, proper plannings. And it's stress. Stress cannot. You cannot affect stress in your life, but if you do it all yourself. So that's why you need a proper management, proper agent to help you.
If you could give one golden rule to first-time buyers and upgraders, what would it be?
First and foremost, before you jump into selling the house, make sure you have a proper planning, what you want to be, what you plan 5 years, 10 years. Because buying a house is not about buying just a house. You need to buy and you need to go together with the house. So your planning is very important. Secondly, timeline that you need to prepare. Plan it forward. Okay, if let's say I don't get the dream house, I already sell the house, what happened? Where are you going to stay? All these are about smart move by make sure that you talk to the proper agent who can advise you. How, if my plan doesn't went through, how do you have another plan for me? So that I don't have the stress of moving to the next stage of my life, upgrading or first timer who buying the house. All this buying house is not a cheap investment. You have to look at long-term investment. It's not a short term. So risk management is very, very important because I have a way of calculating if let's say they lose a job, how do they pay for the house? 2 or 3 years maintenance monthly installment is not cheap. 2 months or 3 months. So all these need plans, risks, whether they can keep on paying for that house if they lose their job and they need time to be employed again. How? They have maintenance, monthly maintenance to pay. Their children, everyday expenses, all these have to be calculated before you really have to plan for your next stage of life. Long-term, remember, long-term management.
Okay, so we have come to the end of episode 103 on the GrowCast show. So thank you again, Khai, for your time and the beautiful answers that you've given.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much. So till next time, everybody, take care.